Had students all across campus as we've been bringing you. Tonight's celebration even included fireworks. I understand that one of our staff members captured video of the fireworks. We're waiting to bring that to you so that we can hear that. But across campus tonight, everywhere you go, whether it be here at Elon, here at college campuses all across the country, on Twitter, on Facebook. I had one Facebook friend tell me that she didn't need to turn on the national network news because she had all the news of Osama bin Laden's death right on Facebook. But we found the video of the fireworks that I was talking to you about. We're working to get that going. Let's go back. I want to talk to Drew for just a second and see how other media outlets have been covering this.
The Pendulum, our news gathering partners across the street, are now down in the basement in McEwen, out there tonight as well. They say cop cars are currently outside Daniel Lee Commons. A large group of students currently chanting out there. Also reports of a small bonfire has started out there. So students getting a little bit out of control from some of the reports out there tonight. But again, celebrating a momentous time in our history. The person in charge of Al-Qaeda for so long, person who was hiding out for so long from the United States, dead, and now his body is in U.S. custody.
That's right. It took a week, sources have been saying, since they killed Osama bin Laden. What we're hearing from sources, multiple news agencies from across the country are saying that Osama bin Laden was actually killed a week ago from today. Okay, we're coming in now. Okay, Sam Baranowski's coming back to us from Dana Lee Center, where cops continue to break that up. I'm told that we're taking video of Sam. I know that you can't see the video of Sam yet, but my understanding is that she's coming.
There she is.
Here is Sam Baranowski on the phone back in our control room with our producers. Talking to a student. Let's listen in.
I woke up to the riots. I live right upstairs, and I was really surprised because there was a million people in the streets, like lighting things on fire, screaming. There was a fire truck that came out, and it was cool. Like even campus security was enjoying it. They didn't really think about anything else.
So it was more of a happy celebration than a riot?
Yeah, I was like, oh God, everyone's gonna get in trouble, but no, campus security's like right here. They were a little worried about the fire, but they were fine. It was great.
So are you happy that this has happened? Were you celebration?
Yeah, I mean, I came out, I was like, okay, let's go. I was driving around campus to see what was going on, and I'm from New York, so it's really,
you know, it's good to see everyone's got so much pride here, you know.
Great, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Guys, right here, we're still waiting. The fire actually just got put out, so the students have started to march towards the center of campus. We'll follow them and keep you updated as we go. Back to you.
And again, that was Sam Baranowski reporting to us from the festivities, I guess you could call them, in Dana Lee Center. I think it's remarkable, Drew, that you hear.
That's fantastic.
And there's Sam. I think it's remarkable that the students who've been in Dana Lee Center saying that even the police were taking part. Of course, it really is a big night. What do you think? What is the grand scope of this? What is this long-term implications going to mean, Drew?
I mean, certainly this today is the 9/12. Today is really people coming together once again in the United States. If you look on, and you can take a look at some video right now, Washington, D.C. celebrating. That's outside the White House, where people have been flocking to and really just showing a lot of national pride today. When you look at things like Twitter and this major event, remember things like social media weren't around. Again, taking a look at this video right now, you can see Washington, D.C. celebrating tonight's festivities. Also up in New York City, we're getting word that they're in Times Square, flags, cameras in the air, the Star-Spangled Banner being sung, chants of USA, and just really a nationwide event that we saw develop on the internet. This is something that I think most students at Elon, they came onto Facebook tonight and saw that something was going on, and in the papers tomorrow, we'll see it, and the news networks will be on all night.
That's right, Drew. I think it was interesting as you watched NBC, ABC, CBS break in from their coverage, from their primetime 10 o'clock evening programs. You watch the anchors stream in. I think when you see Brian Williams on television at 11 p.m. at night, certainly underscores just how important of an event this is for all of us. Also want to talk about some students here, although they're happy. I understand a student spoke with us today, one of our crews out in the field, and said that they felt like Osama bin Laden had been dead since before now, taking on somewhat different of a meaning. I hope we have the video of that student. I know we're working on that in the control room. We'll bring you that in just a moment. Drew, what else are we seeing on Twitter?
Again, it's all about this coming together, and I think it was funny just to see my non-journalist friends on Facebook talking about, you know, go get 'em USA. I'm so glad Osama bin Laden is no longer with us. So many people coming together on there. Again, one of our reporters out in the field, Brandon Marshall, just putting into Twitter right now, red and blue streamers are wrapped around Alamance poles. They're swaying in the trees. So Elon campus tonight, very much a scene of the news event. And we do have some student reaction outside Mosley Center from right after the event tonight. I think it's on tape. Let's take a look.
To be aware that the death of him is a great sign, but it also means that there can be a lot of fear that's coming in the next few days and few weeks. Everybody needs to be on high alert and aware of the situation that we've put ourselves in right now.
That's right, high alert. I understand that our military men and women serving both here and overseas have been put on high alert tonight. Certainly great work of our servicemen and women to get Osama bin Laden, and now they may be put in even more danger as people across the world react to this. What have you heard about this, Drew?
Well, just interesting to me is that, great job by our military servicemen overseas, but also is that they kept this under wraps for so long. I mean, it was a week before we found out about it, but tonight was the night that they were going to break it. I think things started to leak out a little bit, and that's why we saw the president say he was going to make some remarks. You're looking at some video of Osama bin Laden, that's file footage. I mean, Osama bin Laden was someone who was not a stranger in the past couple of years, putting out lots of audio tapes, leaked video. That's something that we see crop up on Al Jazeera quite a bit. Still very much a visible presence of the terrorist network Al-Qaeda over in the Middle East.
That's right, Drew. As I was listening to reports from, I think it was the BBC World News on my way in here, they were speaking with one journalist and who said that, Osama bin Laden really hasn't been in the day-to-day operations of Al-Qaeda relevant in quite some time. But this is certainly a symbolic moment for the United States, and certainly a big victory that really helps to progress in our front against the terrorism across the world.
And if you're just joining us again, Osama bin Laden has been killed, shot in the head, the U.S. now saying. Officials had long believed that bin Laden was hiding out in a mountainous region along the Pakistan-Afghanistan border. Special operations, U.S. special operations carried out that attack from an Al-Qaeda compound, killing bin Laden when they shot him in the head during a firefight. The special operations returned with the body to Afghanistan, and that's what U.S. officials are telling NBC News. And then they said that they were handling that in accordance with the Islamic practice and tradition. So again, a different part of the world, a little bit different ways to go about these things, but again, respect even for Osama bin Laden and President Obama coming out with that news tonight.
That's right, Drew. And now sources are saying that Osama bin Laden was actually found in a compound closer to the Indian border, which is raising new questions just how deep he was into Pakistan. And you take a look there again, the crowd continues to react outside the White House. I don't see any fires like we've had here on campus tonight. Sam Baranowski reporting earlier from Danley Center where students set a fire. It's now been put out, and the crowd is now dispersing back to campus. We have Sam Baranowski and Jeff Ackerman following the crowd. You see the crowd here continuing to move outside the White House. This is what we continue to talk about here. People's reactions almost in disbelief. This is something that almost 10 years ago has stunned the world, the actions of Osama bin Laden. And now it seems that people both here at Elon and across the country and probably even across the world are now reacting in surprise, in celebration, in disbelief that a man who's done such horrific things to this country has now been killed by the United States of America. Again, President Barack Obama coming on, addressing the nation at 11:30 tonight, just about 11:30. Now, this was an hour later than what the press had originally been briefed on, Drew. They said that he would be making a statement in the East Room of the White House, not the press briefing room of the White House, but in the East Room of the White House at 10:30. I know if folks like...
And Obama was told at 3:50 just today that that was the source, that bin Laden had been ID'd as bin Laden, that body that they brought. So it was just at 3:50 that they had confirmation of that today, and that's why they made the announcement.
That's right. Things certainly moving quickly. Another thing that's moving quickly right now, Drew, is our folks in the control room are telling us that there's now a parade marching outside of Belk Library where Jeff Ackerman's standing by. Let's see what Jeff has for us. Jeff?
Alamance Fountain right now. I heard people chanting America, screaming outside of the library. People were not wearing shirts, people were dressed up in red, white, and blue. I hear chanting right now outside of the Alamance Fountain right now, just people screaming America. It's really obvious that people are very excited about tonight. The chanting is just continuing right now. And there's 200 people over Alamance Fountain right now, but all right, well, for now, back to you guys in the studio.
Certainly an interesting scene out there, people running, you can see people running around. It is 1:23 a.m., we're coming up on 1:24 now. People still out there, still partying,
still celebrating
late into the night, unlike Elon college students, but it is a Sunday night, and obviously this news, people all across campus hearing about it pretty quickly, and that's the way we work today with text messages, cell phones, smartphones, all that sort of thing.
Even 2 hours, as we were just saying, 2 hours since President Obama addressed the nation on national television, 3 hours really since word first broke out that the president may be announcing tonight that Osama bin Laden has been killed. We still have students running across campus chanting USA, as you just heard in that
and
shot.
it's a scene you'll see across the United States right now. If you follow Luke Russert, who's an NBC News correspondent, one of the younger people there, has been putting out a lot of stuff from different schools. Penn State, a couple of interesting pictures of just people completely filled the streets. I wish I could show you this right here, but now. But this is a picture from up on top of a building, and inside the entire street is filled, lit up, people with posters, costumes, and just really reveling in this news today. Another interesting fact, if you didn't know, that again 8 years ago was the mission accomplished, no, not 8 years ago, but today was the day of the mission accomplished speech that President Bush did on that aircraft carrier. Also a significant date, May 1, 1945, and that was when Germany announced that Hitler is dead. May 1, 2011, that's when the U.S. announces that Osama bin Laden is dead.
That's right. That's just one in a many of interesting quirks about today. The timing of today, of course, also May Day, little celebrated, little known holiday today as we celebrate another facet of the United States. I think as this goes on, we'll continue to see streaming across Facebook, across Twitter, and across the media, newspapers and television and radio, more similarities today, more interesting facts and bits of trivia as people, again, continue to celebrate.
And I think the interesting spot where people are gathering right now is Ground Zero. CNN right now telling us that a celebration in a spot long known for tragedy. People following news of bin Laden's death are at Ground Zero right now. Again, if you're just joining us here on Channel 14, Osama bin Laden dead. That is the news from the White House tonight. The news breaking around 11:30 this evening. Well into the morning, 1:25. Elon students still hearing about the news and getting out on campus and really celebrating what is a victory for the United States, you know, finally putting this chapter of terror that started on September 11th really right in your face, a huge news event. You know, this kind of puts a little bit of a closure on it for some people, but again, you know, the death of Osama bin Laden does not bring back a lot of the people that were killed that day.
That's right. As you listen to President Obama's speech tonight, addressed from the East Room of the White House, you could hear as he opened, started talking about the more than 3,000 lives that were lost on September 11th. And I think this is just a fitting way, not necessarily to honor, but a fitting piece of retribution on behalf of the United States for the terrible things that were done on September 11th. Of course, this also marks an interesting time as President Obama begins for a troop drawdown that he promised in August of 2011. As you know, General Petraeus last week, it was announced that General Petraeus would be moving from commander of the Afghan forces, the NATO forces in Afghanistan. He'd be moving to take over direction of the CIA. The current CIA director then moving to the Secretary of Defense post as Robert Gates steps down. He's also appointing new ambassadors. Certainly a transition period in Afghanistan, and this seems to be kicking it off with a bang.
And really, the students still getting word of what's going on tonight. Looking at one of the news editors at the Pendulum putting out that a parade of students is marching around past Alamance, singing the national anthem, and that crowd keeps getting louder. So more people getting out there when they realize, hey, you know, let's get involved in what's going on. And if you remember back to the 2008 election, which we covered right here on Channel 14, we do have a live feed of Twitter if you want to take it. It's right there. You can see one of our reporters, Brandon Marshall, is out on the scene that a crowd is running around Alamance chanting USA. Again, as we were talking about back in 2008, this was something similar that we saw after President Obama was elected, that students really took to the commons here, took to the quad to let their voice be heard.
That's right. Elon, not always the most civically engaged. Certainly, though, tonight we see that students are paying attention. Nights like tonight, nights like 2008, as students took all across campus to celebrate both the election of Barack Obama and now the death of Osama bin Laden. So now I think with that, we're going to head into a break, Drew, but don't worry, we still have reporters around campus. Jeff Ackerman will join us back live from the continuing parade that is going on outside of Alamance. We'll have live reports from there after this quick break.
Check out this